becomes a collaborative.
Okay.
We need to do it again.
Okay.
So the individual
Voice can become a collaborative.
The human mic requires everyone to repeat
Requires everyone to repeat
as loud as you can
as loud as you can,
so that we have a public presence.
so that we have a public presence.
The lobby activist event
The lobby activist event
began in 2008
began in 2008
and has been making feminism present
and has been making feminism present,
and the work that feminists do
and the work that feminists do
in the public spaces of hotels,
in the public spaces of hotels,
which empowers us to use the human mic
to use the human mind
with practice
with practice
here
here
in the world at large.
in the world at large.
What we're going to do next
What we're going to do next
is talk about feminist leadership.
is talk about feminist leadership.
Having voices one way,
Having voices one way,
dialogue and conversation is another,
dialogue and conversation is another,
and to put ourselves out into the public
and to put ourselves out into the public
and think about what we mean by public.
and think about what we mean by public.
So we have postcards
So we have postcards
that can be mailed,
that can be mailed,
that can be handed to another,
that can be handed to another,
with a message on the back
with a message on the back
of something you want to say
of something you want to say
to the world at large,
to the world at large,
but with specific audience in mind.
but with specific audience in mind.
We will break into smaller groups,
We will break into smaller groups,
and in those groups,
and in those groups,
talk about feminist leadership.
talk about feminist leadership.
It can begin with the personal,
It can begin with the personal,
taking care of oneself
taking care of oneself
is feminist leadership,
is feminist leadership,
taking care of each other
taking care of each other
is feminist leadership,
is feminist leadership,
and when we join forces
and when we join forces
with all of our differences,
with all of our differences,
which is good,
which is good,
we can make a difference.
we can make a difference.
So take a handful of cards,
Take a handful of cards,
invite 2 or 3 other people with you,
invite 2 or 3 other people with you,
have conversations in the seating areas,
have conversations in the seating areas,
right on the back,
right on the back,
come back down here at 20 minutes till,
come back there in 20 minutes till,
and then we will speak our postcards about feminist leadership.
and then we will speak our postcards about feminist leadership.
Let's go with that.
Let's go with that.
Challenge new things.
So that maybe would be 2 younger women or people or
Yeah, what do you think? Who's the audience for that? I don't know.
I think younger women.
Well, I mean, in order for things to build, there has to be like support for those people that are making those changes, and which ultimately ends up being the next generation that's going to, follow them. So,
And there's been issues with that too. I mean,
For some of the first wave or whoever, it's like, hey, I pulled myself up on my bootstraps.
Yeah,
And they had to prove
You have to do
themselves.
that too.
So you have
Yeah.
to do that too. And that's particularly true in the world of like chefs. I have a friend who went to Cordon Bleu and became a chef. And even the women chefs who were already out there and established. It's like, no, I don't take female interns, that would, whatever, there was no leg up, right? And that's like 2 years ago, and so I think we really have to honor and acknowledge and respect the ones who mentor and foster.
Yeah. Today during lunch, I was sitting in the cafeteria, like in the convention center, and I was just sitting there, I was watching like all the women, mostly it's women around me, and so many look so tired and just like so like, oh, I just gotta go, I got here this morning and my flight just got in and I gotta go, and I'm like, who's gonna give you a break? Like, who's gonna be like, hey, it's okay if you don't make it to 10 sessions today. It's all right. And I think that like feminist leadership is also that like
Giving permission to
yeah,
yourself.
give and be, just chill out. It's okay.
Like taking care of yourself. That's what you were saying. It's,
I don't know that men realize that they've gained those lifestyles and choices and all of the things that they have gained because of women's rights.
Oh, I don't think we get any credit.
Yeah, well, they don't realize, who do I get to, who do I credit this to, And again, it's like a awareness. It's like an inquiry. I wish I had a room full of men to dialogue with and have that inquiry. What do you do? And how do you get that privilege? And what about the women's rights movement have influenced your life personally? Awesome.
I think one of the things I hear too is almost like if it's a heterosexual relationship, that's when we say my husband is a woman. So if we're going to increase the dialogue and look at more inclusive ways of talking, we have to can't assume that they are your typical relationship. So I hope we keep that on the table. And then another thing is also when we talk about women, it's sometimes important too, because at one point, as you're aware, black women were not included in the dialogue. It was a very different kind of conversation. And so there was marginalization within marginalization. Right. So again, I just hope as we continue to have these conversations, let's keep them expanded and not just assume or it becomes this normative thing that everybody is included in the conversation because all are not at the table of leadership.
If I could piggyback on this, I know I'm running late, but going on what you just stated for American Indian women, this has been a very difficult situation because traditionally we were equal to our men. We had roles, but we were equal. And women, especially in my tribe, we were the leaders. And as Wilma Mankiller said, she, when she became chief, and everyone, oh my goodness, there's an American Indian woman, she's a chief, and she said, I'm going to paraphrase, but she said that we had to go back 500 years to come forward because we as women in Cherokee culture, we were always the chiefs. And the white people, when they came, would not talk to the women. So the men became the chiefs, and the women would tell the male chief, what to do, because then the clan mothers would get together and say, okay, here's your orders. And yet, because they needed to have the man attend to the meetings, and it took all the way to Wilma Mankiller to become officially the speaker for our tribe to be recognized. And isn't that fascinating? It is. And so she provided such a positive role model that goes right with what you were saying, though. It's a discomfort with the feminist movement and all of that. It was hard for them to make that move. And of course, Mankiller had a very close relationship with Gloria Steinem, and she pushed it into another level. So thank you for mentioning that.
So everybody has a thought about feminist leadership in art education and however you perceive that in these, great stories, and then we'll think about to whom we want to give that message to. And I'm not sure, we could probably come up with something about this chill and just hand it out to, when that person is frantic in the elevator or something like that.
Or just all the time, whenever I go to teacher, meetings, professional learning meetings with other art educators, half of it is venting. I'm so tired of my principal, and I'm like, it's okay. You'll be okay. We're gonna make it. And I just want to be like that. Yeah, like I just want to be that person sometimes because it's like sometimes we like that is so much a reality check as much as like you know as much as the ambitious call.
Yeah, I think that's really important to remember and put things into perspective. Whitewater rafting does that for me. It's like, there's a line of commitment, and you just go, and it's like all these other issues and problems kind of, they have a different kind of perspective, you know.
And drumming.
And particularly with
Drumming.
and drumming, yeah.
This kind of caring as a leader, you know, and then this kind of leadership style, lots of people would think it's like you with too much details and micromanage everything. But you know, in another way, you know, lots of feminists care, you know, in the things they do. And I mentioned feminist leadership is a little bit like water. It's like running through all these things and bring things together, and it's water has a strong power, but it's also not like, you know, we don't feel it. So that's just what I thought.
Nice. And I think feminist leadership is having power with versus over people. Sometimes people do come for the in control, but it's with. How do you empower others to take their leadership roles and to also come into their own strengths as to who they are without being dictatorial. Yeah.
No, I think it's important to realize that we're imperfect beings. And that feminist leadership isn't about, it's like not a finite thing, like I've arrived, I'm a feminist leader. It's like a work in progress. Because in spite of what we think about ourselves, that we think we are the most open, caring, non-biased person, we all have our biases. And we constantly have to keep looking and checking ourselves to see where we are with all of that. And to be forgiving of ourselves when we haven't, maybe been as open, inclusive as we forgive other people, because they are imperfect too.
So some other thoughts?
You know, the guest speaker this morning, I don't know if you heard Jean Houston talk, and there were a couple things that she said, like the word educare, meaning leading out. I thought that was really interesting, leading out, educare. So it's like, it implies this group lead to me. It's like together, moving together, a movement together. It's not, I don't know that I think leadership in some ways has this connotation of being singular, but I don't think it is. I don't think for feminists it is. I think it's got the group component that moves forward.
Absolutely. The notion of non-hierarchical too.
Correct. Yeah. So that was really pretty amazing to me. Then she said Leonardo da Vinci would have happily died twice to come to this NAEA conference. I thought that was funny. Yeah, and then do not let yourself go by. I thought that was that's one that do not let yourself go by. So, like you were talking about, same thing, celebrating the things that you do really well. But, we all have bad days. We all could bitch. Yeah, all bitch really hard.
Empowering yourself to do what you're capable of doing.
Correct.
I think sometimes, because I've just gone through a very uncomfortable year at school. I was elected the faculty chair, That's not the same as being paid to be the faculty chair. I represent the interests of, I've been representing all year, the interests of people, the faculty. And then we vote on these kinds of things. And I've lost probably every single issue that I've tried to promote. And of course I was devastated on the first one. I just couldn't believe it because, I have a PhD and I know a lot about education, and I thought, how could this was the most logical, rational way to work this problem out, and they didn't go for it.
and then that became a pattern and a habit. But I wanted to quit after that first one. I wanted to leave. I just wanted to just go in my office and close the door and not talk anymore. And then I realized if I do that, then none of these voices of the faculty didn't want to promote whatever it was they wanted to promote. None of that would have been heard, and there wouldn't have been dialogue, and things would have gone on. And I think sometimes we give up. I have a male colleague who said, well, that was just that play. Do this play and do this strategy and keep that game going, because eventually it will come. Or my skills will improve. And in fact they did toward the end. But and then when your skills improve, then you have that power. And I'm not talking about necessarily style as much as just the strategies for how people are thinking what's going to work with this group at this time. So I think that's something an area that we've missed, or that I miss.
I wonder if we could talk about what you mean by when those skills improve, because many times I felt like, well, I had pretty good skills as a caring person, but all of a sudden my skills weren't so hot when they were compared to the other chairs of the departments that were male, and they were much more domineering, but I was much more caring, focused, nurturing, and so it was dismissed. And then I thought, okay, I don't have the skills. But then I'm looking and going, no, I have the skills. It's just that my skills are different, and I don't know exactly how to play that out in a male-dominated world.
And I didn't even know how to manage their conversation. So my rules of order, Robert's Rules of Order, got a lot better, and I could shut someone up before they went way over their allotted. I mean, I played with. There are rules for how to do that, and I started learning how to manage those rules, and then there were some other. Well, there's just strategies for who's going to talk now, and who are you going to talk to before you go into that meeting. Who are your collaborators going to be when you go into the meeting to get something done? And I never played that game before.
We are going to use the human mic
so that each voice can be heard.
So that each voice can be heard.
Let's see.
Liz, could you begin?
Be a Reese. Here, wait. Stand up here.
Okay. All right. Be a researcher.
Be a researcher
About yourself.
about yourself.
Your art has a voice.
Your art has a voice.
So search for it, find it.
So search for it, find it,
Let it go.
and let it go.
To all my sisters that are stressed out,
To all my sisters that are stressed out,
take a deep breath
to take a deep breath
and chill out.
and chill out.
Repeat until you understand this message.
Repeat until you understand this message.
I just have support others.
Support others.
Be supported.
Be supportive.
Feminist leadership in art education
Feminist leadership in art education
is to not let yourself go by.
is to not let yourself go by.
Women should be volunteers,
Women should be volunteers,
not be asked to do things.
not be asked to
do things.
Take the initiative.
Take the initiative.
Okay. This is addressed to young women and men.
This is addressed to young women and men.
Acknowledge, honor, respect those who carved new paths.
Acknowledge, honor, respect
Those who carved new paths. Those who broke barriers.
those who broke barriers
That you have been able to take advantage of.
to take advantage of.
Build on this work.
Build on this work.
Break newly identified barriers.
Break newly identified barriers.
And carve new paths.
And carve new paths.
I didn't even write anything. Go, Shelby. Go. You can give it to somebody or you can.
Feminist leadership
Feminist leadership
is a work in progress,
is a work in progress,
as we are.
and we are.
So along the way, be kind to self,
Be kind to self,
forgiving, allow yourself and others to make mistakes.
to make mistakes.
Stop for just a minute
Stop for just a minute.
and listen.
Listen.
We have important ideas.
We have important ideas.
Listen. And we do it with love, and we don't apologize for it.
And we do it with love, and we don't apologize for it.
Feminist leadership
Feminist leadership
is like water.
is like water.
It's hard and soft.
It's hard and soft.
It's caring and hearing.
It's caring and healing.
Oh, nice.
Remember, the one power you have
Remember, the one power you have
is your reaction to a negative action.
is your reaction to a negative action.
Feminist leadership
Feminist leadership
is being the thing you want to see in others.
is being the thing you want to see in others.
I have just a couple words.
I have just a couple words.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Try and try again.
Try and try again.
Be a role model.
Be a role model.
Yeah.
In feminist leadership,
In feminist leadership,
know that you can use your voice of authority.
know that you can use your voice of authority. Feminist leadership
It's all of you.
is all of you.
And Betty, and you too?
Yes.
Feminist leadership
Feminist leadership
is about being a mentor,
is about being a mentor,
a positive mentor
a positive
for
mentor
all of our students.
for all of our students.
Okay, Casey.
Feminist leadership
Feminist leadership
is about creating
is about creating
inclusive spaces.
inclusive spaces.
for 2016. We will continue each year. We hope to have a book come out about lobby activism. We'll see how that, we're thinking that that's going to happen. So some of you are going to be authors of that. And so thank you for coming, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.